Welcome back to Book Break and welcome to our October book haul. If you're new here on Book Break, we do these book haul videos every single month where Elle, the other half of the Book Break team, sends me a really exciting email. I haven't opened it yet. This email is full of details of some of the most exciting books that we have published from Pan Macmillan in the last month. So I don't know what's going to be in here. Let's open it up together. Okay, the first book in here is A New Peter James, Left You Dead. So this is the paperback, if you've been waiting for that. And this is the 17th book in the Roy Gray series. Maybe you've been watching the Roy Gray series on TV, or you've just got started with the books. There are 17 so far for you to enjoy. So if you've been waiting to collect them all in paperback, Left You Dead is out now. I remember reading the synopsis of this before and it sounded really mysterious. So a married couple, start their Sunday the same way they always do, with a long drive and a quick stop at the supermarket. But this Sunday ends differently because Niall waits and waits in the car park for Eden to come back from the shop, but she never comes back. She has vanished without a trace. And Niall ends up being arrested on suspicion of her murder. So it is up to DS Roy Grace to solve the case. Then we have another one now out in paperback. This is Joy at Work by Marie Kondo. So Marie Kondo you will know most famously from the life-changing magic of tidying up. This is her book all about how to organise your professional life, and it includes tips for virtual working as well. Marie Kondo's method basically says that if you organise your working life, virtual or physical, if you organise that once, you will never have to do it again, and she will guide you through the process of how to organise it so that your work life sparks joy as much as we know she wants our homes to as well. Then we've got a really Christmassy one. So in the last book haul I got very excited about the first hints of our Christmassy publishing. Now we've got Midnight in the Snow by Swan. This looks so festive and cozy. It's not actually a Christmas book, you can read this whenever you want, but it is wintry. It is set in the snow-covered mountains of the Austrian Alps. This sounds to me like it's going to be an enemies to lovers romance, and I want to be living inside that cabin right now. And the snow theme continues, Penguin Parcel. This is adorable, and this is a title that I have not seen yet before. Are those the Northern Lights? I want to go. So this one is described as a sparkling Arctic adventure about friendship, empathy, and a very long journey. I want to read it! This looks like a really, really sweet children's book, but I am racing all the children to the shop for this one. Next is another children's book, Return to Moomin Valley. So this one is, I think, the third in the Moomin Valley collection, which are these books actually based on the Moomin Valley TV show. So they're inspired by the original stories by Tove Jansson. So this one, Return to Moomin Valley, let's see what happens. Join the Moomins as they journey to a mysterious island, meet the Hobgoblin and his extraordinary hat, and encounter a magic mural. So these are really, really visual books. I wish I had one here to show you, but they are just filled with full colour artwork. Gorgeous. And the theme continues with Squirrel's Snowman. So this is from the Tales from Acorn Wood series by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. It's a Lift the Flap book. I am feeling so Christmassy. I don't care if it's too early. This is a really cute little preschool series. In this one, it is snowing in Acorn Wood and Squirrel wants to build a snowman. Will she and her friends find everything they need to build? Lift the flaps to find out. I want to! Then we have, a non-fiction. I actually have a physical copy of this one. 1 second. Here you go. Swan Dive, The Making of a Rogue Ballerina. So this is one that I'm really excited about because this is going to show us some of the dark side of ballet. But it's also a love letter to ballet. So the author, Georgina Paskogin, is a ballerina. She's actually the first Asian American soloist with the New York City Ballet. She's just incredible. And ballet is just something that is so enchanting to those of us on the outside. I mean, obviously, literally watching ballerinas move is very entrancing. But also, I just find the whole world of ballet so fascinating, and I know I'm not the only one. So this book is going to take us behind the scenes to everything that she loves about ballet, but also to look at some of its darker, sharper edges. Okay, back to the laptop. Next in here, The Library of the Dead. So this one is now out in paperback. The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu is the first in a new series, and people are loving it so far. If you're a fan of books like Rivers of London, this is definitely gonna be your vibe. So it's urban fantasy, it uses a mixture of Scottish and Zimbabwean folklore and magic, and it's about a girl who can talk to ghosts. Oh, and of course it says library in the title, so book lovers are always gonna have to pick it up. Then, oh good, I was missing the children's Christmas books. How Winston Came Home for Christmas. So Winston is a mouse. We first met him in the book How Winston Delivered Christmas, and this is the sequel, so he's got a whole new Christmassy adventure. And what's really fun about this book is it's told in 24.5 chapters, so it's perfect to read one every day throughout December in the build up to Christmas. And as well as being a great story, there's also a really fun family festive activity in each chapter to do every day. So it might be some Christmas crafting, it might be a recipe, it might be about discovering Christmas traditions from around the world. Then children have been having a great month in October, it seems. This is the 143 story treehouse. If you've been following this series, the treehouse just keeps getting taller and taller every time. I can't believe we've made it to 143 stories now, that's amazing. In this one we're going to find camping hoots and soggy boots. This is book number 11 in the series. The treehouse keeps growing by 13 stories every time. It started off as a 13-story treehouse, so it is doing pretty well. What are the new levels that we've added this time? A word-o-matic level, a recycling depot, a wrecking ball, a complaining room, I'd like to go there sometimes, a deep dark cave with a real-life fire-breathing dragon, and so much more. These books have been so popular, and you can see why. That is a lot of fun. Am I going to have to go back to the world of grown-ups for the next one? No, I am not. My Magical Santa. This is one of the Campbell books. I love playing with these. So these are push, pull, slide books. They're really interactive for children, but also for me. Okay, now we're going back to grown-up books. The Strays of Paris by Jane Smiley. This is gorgeous. So this is the paperback. I hadn't seen this new cover yet. It looks Christmassy. I'm so in the mood. This one is a really heartwarming book. It's about an unlikely friendship between a young boy and a group of animals, a horse, a dog, 2 ducks and a crow, but it is a book for adults to enjoy. This novel celebrates the intrinsic need for friendship, love and freedom, whoever you may be. Really lovely. Yay, we're going back to children's books. The Firefox. This is beautiful, and another one with Northern Lights on the cover. This is just a sign to me I need to go and see the Northern Lights. This is also another one that I hadn't seen before. Children's have been hiding some really gorgeous titles from me. Freya and her mum have gone to a little cabin to get away for a while. The light has gone out of their lives since Freya's dad passed away. Freya isn't sure about going sledging, but when she meets a magical fox in the snow, she can't help but follow him into the forest and onto a thrilling adventure. Ooh, okay, so this is inspired by a Finnish myth about foxfires, the sparks that fly from the fur of a fox, and those become the Northern Lights. Amazing. Then going to another equally cosy one, the Yorkshire Shepherdess, celebrating the seasons with the Yorkshire Shepherdess. So Amanda Owen is the Yorkshire Shepherdess. You may be very familiar with her from TV. Look how cute her little sheep on the front cover of that is. Love that. So this book is celebrating the seasons, going through and telling you about farming, family and delicious recipes to share. Amanda and her family have become famous for their amazing life where they live completely in tune with nature, and their attitude to food and the recipes that they make is really reflected in that as well. Then, ooh, we're taking a darker turn for a David Baldacci. This is book number 2 in the Aloysius Archer series by David Baldacci, who is an incredibly beloved and best-selling crime writer. This one is set in California in 1949. So this series takes us into the golden age of crime. Bill Clinton is actually a big fan of this series. Then The Prince of the Skies. That's another one I have a hard copy of. BRB. This is The Prince of the Skies by Antonio Iturbe. It is historical fiction about the life of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who is the author of The Little Prince. So if you are one of the many people who has The Little Prince as one of their all-time favourite childhood books, dive into this story that gives you some of the backstory and adventures of the author, who was a pilot during the war. And if you recognise the name Antonio Iturbe, it's because this is the same author who wrote The Librarian of Auschwitz. Okay, going back in, we have another one that I've got the hard copy of. This is A Funny Life by Michael McIntyre. Here he is, isn't he fab? I'm such a Michael McIntyre fan. So this is his second autobiography. His first led up to the point where he got his big break. So this follows everything that came after. This is actually his life during fame. It begins in 2006 when Michael has just had his big break at the Royal Variety Performance. Waking up the next morning in the tiny rented flat he shared with his wife Kitty and their 1-year-old son, he is beyond excited about the new glamorous world of show business. Unfortunately, he is also clueless. Okay, this is quite exciting. Will I have the next one too? Oh, no I don't, but I wish I did. Aziza's Secret Fairy Door and the Ice Cat Mystery. So this is the second book in a series. It started with Aziza's Secret Fairy Door, and this one, from the cover, just how I like it, looks like it's going to get festive. Aziza can't wait for the holidays when the flat is filled with pretty tinsel and delicious smells. It's warm and cozy in Aziza's bedroom, so when she notices that her secret fairy door is covered in ice and frost, it's a sure sign that she's about to go on a new adventure. So cute. Then we have Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man by Emmanuel Acho. So I do have a hard copy of this one, but I have the hardback, and this is now out in paperback. So I won't go and get my old hardback, it'll just confuse you. This is a really interesting book that is all about asking those uncomfortable questions that these days we need to be asking, we need to be finding the answers to. Emmanuel Acho has a YouTube series with the same name, which is all about confronting particularly white people or other non-black people with the uncomfortable conversations that they need to be addressing. He takes a really empathetic tone. It's a beginner's guide, it's a safe space, you are welcome to puzzle things out there, but ultimately he wants everyone to join the fight against racism. Next, we have a really interesting one, and I do have it. This is Deep Wheel Orcadia by Harry Josephine Giles, and this is a very unusual book. This is a science fiction written in the Orkney dialect. It's also a novel in verse. So if we have a look inside, you can see that every page has the poetry written in the Orkney dialect and then a translation as well. We've actually got a video coming up on Book Break all about unusual books that you're going to want to tell your friends about, and spoiler alert, you will be seeing this one in there because it's just unlike anything you've come across before. Moment of truth, do I have the next one? I don't have this edition, but this is Journey to the River Sea by Ava Ibbotson. This is a really beloved childhood classic for a lot of people. There have been a lot of new editions of this coming out recently to celebrate the 20th anniversary, and this is a fully illustrated version, so it's a really gorgeous one, particularly to give as a present. Christmas is coming up. If you haven't read the book, it's about an orphan called Maya who goes on an adventure up the Amazon along with her rather eccentric governess, and it's fabulous. Okay, next, this is a really exciting one because this is a children's book written by Sir Lenny Henry. This is The Boy with Wings, which is all about a boy called Tunde who sprouts wings and learns that he is the only thing that stands between Earth and total destruction. So he has a mega mission to go on with his unlikely group of pals from school who are going to help him. And so what if he can't stand up to the school bully? This is his destiny. Then a very sweet one, Sleepily Ever After Bedtime Stories for Grown-Ups. And guess what? I've got it. This gorgeous book, another really nice present idea perhaps, is an enchanting anthology full of calming, touching and funny tales to help you relax and drift off to sleep. Look, literally the first one I opened it at just happens to be a Christmas story just for me called The Burglar's Christmas. The rest of them are not Christmas stories, but this is just such a beautiful book with amazing silver sprayed edges there to keep by your bed, and you can read one little story before bedtime every night to help you drift off to sleep. This is becoming my new game. Will I have the next one? Oh, no I don't, but this is Robin Robin. This is about to be a Netflix film, so watch out. The irresistible story of Robin Robin and her adopted mouse family is the perfect Christmas treat. Well, sign me up. It looks like we've just got 3 more in here. We have A Bigger Picture by Vanessa Nakate. So this is a non-fiction book written by Vanessa Nakate, who is a climate activist. She's just incredible. She was actually the first Ugandan climate striker at the age of just 21. And she unfortunately gained fame when a picture went viral in which she was cropped out of it. So it was a picture of her along with her all-white climate activist peers, and she, the only person of colour, was cropped out of the photo. So she drew attention to this and how it signified a much wider problem, that people of colour, while affected disproportionately by the climate crisis, are not on the front page of the climate movement. Then we have a crime thriller written by Hillary Rodham Clinton along with Louise Penny. This is State of Terror. This book is a cautionary tale written by a woman who has seen more than most of us about what goes on behind the scenes, and it is scarily familiar to our real world. In this book, the US has just been through an incredibly tumultuous period in American politics with a very damaging president. We're following the Secretary of State who has just been sworn in to work in the administration of her rival, and she is about to face a horrifying international threat. And finally, the last book in here is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. So TJ Klune fans are going to be very, very excited about this one. TJ Klune is the author of The House in the Cerulean Sea, which has been absolutely beloved across BookTube and across book lovers on all corners of the internet and real life. Under the Whispering Door is described as a warm hug of a story. I've heard people describing TJ Klune's writing like that in general. So this is a warm hug of a story about a man who spent his life at the office and his afterlife building a home. It's a queer love story between a ghost and the owner of a small peculiar tea shop. It just sounds delightful. So there you go, that was our October book haul, a selection of some of the loveliest looking titles that we published in October. I will link here to a playlist of all of our previous book hauls so you can click through and have a browse and add some more books to your shopping list maybe. Do leave me a comment below and let me know which books you are most excited about, and I'll see you next time.